Hello, everybody.
Great. Could you please state your name?
Jeffy Speedy.
Mr. Speedy, are you still using this address that I have for you at your mailing address?
Correct.
Today is a date and time for an adjourned bond violation arraignment date, as well as a probable cause conference. So it looks like we have another report from pretrial services. I don't know if you received a copy of this up-to-date report. In addition to the allegations that we were hoping to address last week when the case was scheduled, we also have some additional allegations regarding failure to appear. Did you review all of these with your client?
Your Honor, he's aware that he missed some because he, and he will acknowledge that he didn't comply, but he is scheduled to go inpatient to Mary Grove on Saturday morning. They're expecting him.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that by him going in there, that will court consider it and not remanding him in custody and allow him to go in Saturday morning. And as far as his exam, he's going to wait that.
Do you have documentation that would indicate that?
I don't, it's a walk-in, I can walk in, I talk to them, I can walk in anytime I want, but it was coordinating with my mom's schedule, like I'm gonna go on Saturday morning. It's the best I have, Your Honor, I apologize.
He spoke to Kathy, he said. I
Okay.
don't know if I told him it would have been nice if we had verification.
Last week he told me he was across the state because he had to drive over there or figure out how to get over there to try to secure a placement in a treatment facility over there.
What happened was he was trying to find the best facility for him, but he wasn't able to get in the one that he wanted. And the quickest one he could get in is here, so he chose to go to this one.
If I also miss it, Your Honor, I was trying to find like a good LGBT friendly one, and I actually read some really good things about Mary Grove, so that's how I ended up making my decision at the end. So I totally have no excuse for my behavior. That's what I should have been here. I was just freaking out trying to get to rehab as soon as I could, and with all that said, I apologize for my behavior last week, but I just wanted the best for me, and I just really want to get to rehab. So,
Well, the issue is I would support that despite the myriad of bond violation allegations that we have before the court today. But without any sort of documentation, I don't feel comfortable relying on that.
I can send you documentation when I get there. I mean, that's the fact that as soon as I get there, I would love to do that.
Possible to, I don't know if the court was going to consider remanding him. If he gets this in by Monday, could we hold it till then? And then if it's not in, then the court can make a determination of what you do.
Well, the issue is if I accept a waiver today on his right to have a preliminary examination and I bind it over, then I don't have jurisdiction anymore.
Can we have an adjournment of that pending verification that that he's in the program that was considering not reopening his bond and remanding him? And then I could possibly, can you, from the program, you let it do a Zoom?
I'm just waiting that the people will let me contact the court somehow.
So we could do a waiver on Zoom. If not, then
What is the likelihood that the circuit court assistant prosecuting attorney would take note of the fact that the court is going to amend the bond if this is what I decide to do, and require that he presents verification that he has been admitted for inpatient treatment on Saturday, and if that's not received by pretrial services by Monday, that they would proceed with a motion regarding bonds up at the circuit court.
So I'm happy to reach out directly to the prosecutor that will be handling the case, and I think if pretrial is also given that information, then between pretrial and the prosecutor, they would be able to follow up with it. Because we get the violations from pretrial anyways, they're the ones that are like on their game about reaching out to us
Okay.
when there are potential violations, and then I'll just follow up with the prosecutor just so they have that information.
So, sir, the violations that are before the court, both today and the ones that were set to be addressed last week, have you gone over those with your attorney? So all of those dates that it's alleged that you failed to appear for testing, have you reviewed all of those dates?
first one's second.
How are you?
Well, I guess it's very easy. Have you been testing or not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's the answer, yeah.
Okay, so these allegations here, there's really no reason to schedule them for a hearing because it sounds like you're acknowledging that you have not been showing up for testing. So aside from the fact that you're attempting to get into treatment, is there any other reason that you're just not going to test at all?
Well, after I got out of the jail, I took the first test. It said I was positive for drugs and alcohol. And then the lady I spoke to, my service, whatever, was like, "Oh, that's too late for being out of jail and still testing positive." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And it just scared me. So I just didn't want to continue testing positive again and again until it was out of my system. It would have been like 3 or 4 tests probably still. I know it's not the correct response to that, but I was like, "Oh, great, I'm already screwed." So I'm like, "Great."
Okay, and how did you get here today?
I drove.
So,
Yes.
he has a license.
It gets worse.
And what would happen if you were required to submit to a test immediately after leaving the court today?
I'd probably fail.
For what?
Heroin. That's why I need to go into rehab, Your Honor. Because I tried it by myself. I was good out of jail for the 3 days that I got out of jail, and I'm not equipped to do this by myself. That's why in jail's not the answer for that. It's just gonna make everything worse. Sadly, I've done this before, and what I need is professional help. That's what I need.
But do you see the issue that I'm?
Oh,
having
I
there?
see a lot of clear, trust me. I see it.
So not only is there a concern for your own personal safety based on what you've acknowledged to the court, which I appreciate, but there also becomes an issue with public safety. Because if I know that you're actively using drugs and or alcohol, as you were apparently when you were first starting to test, and you're driving around in the community, it can present a pretty significant public safety issue. Do you understand that?
I understand that, Your Honor.
And you've reported driving over to, I forget where you were last week, maybe Grand Rapids, and I can't verify the reasons for anything that you have done or not done so far while you're under court supervision. And I do agree that taking you into custody because you have failed to comply with the conditions of bond would not be ideal in terms of getting you to address the situation that you're facing. But I also think that I've been pretty lenient about giving you many opportunities to try to do something at this point to get yourself to a place where you can begin the process. And there are many, many, many places that you could walk into at this moment. And given the information that you provided to me, they would, with your permission, keep you there and get you into a facility that will allow you to detox in a much different environment than the jail. And you're not doing these things. So I really am quite concerned from a public safety standpoint, without any verification that you've set something up or any verification that you've picked a date 2 days after today to go somewhere.
I just had to schedule with my mom's schedule is all, so that's all.
Who do you live with?
My mother.
And where is your mom?
She's at work. It's her car that I drove here with. I humbly ask that you allow me to go into rehab on Saturday, Your Honor. I know you've been very lenient, you have been extremely lenient, actually. And I appreciate that. I just know I've done this before, unfortunately, and I need a place that can really help me with that. And I did a lot of research on looking for the places I was last week. I read a bunch of forums, read a bunch of stuff, and Mary Grove kept time and time again saying it was a good place and accessories were high. And I know it's kind of arbitrary stat, but I read a lot of stuff about it, and it seems like the place I really like to go.
Is your mom aware of what your plan is?
Oh, yeah.
And you facilitated some sort of contact with someone at this facility that you can be admitted on Saturday?
Yes, correct. I'll gladly send you any piece of information, any paperwork we can prove it, send a picture to him, or he can send it to you, whatever I need to do. I'm glad to do that.
And did someone definitively tell you that they wouldn't give you something in writing about a plan to be admitted on
I
Saturday?
didn't, it's maybe my fault, I didn't expect that he had like a plan per se, because they said you could walk in, so I said, oh, okay, I can walk in. She said, yeah, you can walk in, I said, okay, great, then I'll be there, what time's a good time? She said 9 o'clock, so great time to intake, so I said, okay, I'll be there 9 o'clock.
Is there a reason that you couldn't walk in tomorrow?
Just because, I have, no, I guess not. I can go tomorrow then, if that's needed.
Mr. Speedy, I'm just very concerned actually at this point, to be very honest with you. I don't have
I suggest he goes tomorrow and sends me something from there, and I can forward it on to the court tomorrow.
I'll do that, I'll do that.
He's not ready. Excuse after excuse.
The reason it was Saturday, Your Honor, is because it's just my mom's work, so she would have to take the day off to take me there, et cetera. That was the reason.
Did she know that you're actively using it? this
Yeah,
week?
she's discussed it with me, yeah.
And her preference is to wait until Saturday to take you?
It's just realistic with work. I mean, she came with her job or whatever, and she's taking enough time off, feeling my ass out and stuff like that, pardon my language, feeling me out and taking care, dealing with all this stuff. I just don't want to put any more pressure on her. She's done everything for me. She's done everything for me. And I've just messed it up time and time again. And, I mean, it's just very little faith in me, She discusses it with me, she loves me, but she hates me kind of thing,
And these are the consequences of addiction.
So, Mr. Minkin, are you prepared to come back here tomorrow? What are you prepared to do here?
Well, if I have to, is the court open all day tomorrow?
Well, I'm here. We don't have a state law docket,
Okay.
so the state law prosecutor would not.
If you want me to come back tomorrow, I'll come back. I don't have anything scheduled. I have something, I think I do have something in the morning. I think I said, oh, no, I don't have anything in the morning now. It got canceled. I was scheduled for a district court jury trial and it got moved. So, yeah, I'll come back if I can't send paperwork tomorrow, that means you gotta come back and you're gonna be admitted to the jail.
we quit.
You gotta
So if
have-
I just take everything that we're doing today and I put it on the docket for tomorrow, then what my expectation would be is you've already acknowledged you're not compliant with your bond. So we don't have to have a hearing. What my intention would be is to just adjourn the PCC until tomorrow, because you're representing that you would go to Mary Grove and that you would be admitted, and then you'd be able to sign a waiver so that they can present documentation to the court to show that you're there. And if that happens, what I would like, Mr. Minkin, is because I know that you've had a lot of conversation with your client. He's
Yes.
here right now, so we have a written waiver form.
Okay,
So
Well,
you've indicated that he intends to waive. I'm not taking his waiver though, because if I
Okay.
take his waiver, then I'm gonna have to fight it over and I lose jurisdiction. But if he's intending to waive and he's here with you
okay,
and the prosecutor is not gonna demand an examination,
right.
then
I
the
can
three of
sign
you
that
can
too.
complete the waiver form.
Okay,
But I'm only gonna accept a written waiver form if I also have verification that he's been
Right.
accepted to inpatient or he's being treated somewhere and they can provide the verification.
okay, so I'll get that tomorrow to
I'll
the
work on that
court.
since we.
And then did you want us to come on the record by Zoom to waive it, or is the paperwork enough without it?
Well, I'm not even asking the prosecutor if she's available yet, which is sort of a requirement, but I'm somewhat basing this whole scenario on the fact that if he makes arrangements, and I'm gonna give him another contact right
Okay.
now. So if something falls through
I
and he
appreciate it, Aaron.
can't go to Mary Grove tomorrow, he's going to be able to go somewhere else that's local first thing in the morning. And he's going to give them the same information that he's provided to us. And I am fairly confident that they will keep him and they will place him either at Sacred Heart or they'll place him at Meridian. And he'll begin a program that will address his needs. So if he can't get to Maple or Mary Grove for some reason, he's gonna have another option.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. Thank you so
But
much.
if I have proof that he's at one of those two places and they are going to place him,
Mhm.
then you can submit the signed waiver if that's what he's choosing to do.
Okay,
And I'll accept the signed waiver and the proof that he's somewhere as a compliance with bond. And then he will have some time to get acclimated to treatment, and he will be in contact with you so that you can appear before the circuit court judge. But if you don't have proof that he is somewhere at one of these two options, by the time that we designate for an appearance tomorrow, I would expect him to come back in person.
okay.
Preference is that you would be here, but I'm gonna ask if the prosecutor has the ability to, she would just be on Zoom. Because it is not technically a day she's assigned to be in my courtroom,
So Judge, I'll be in Pontiac, but I'm happy to jump on Zoom,
if it's needed.
if it's needed. So I'll just wait. If I get an email from the court, I will jump on Zoom as soon as I can.
So I'm thinking like 11.
Okay. Hopefully I can get everything, because it'll take me a little time to get here.
I know. Well, and Mr. Speedy, if he leaves this courtroom and he's a little bit concerned about the information he's told me about his ability to confirm that he's gonna be in treatment somewhere, I'm actually gonna tell him that he should probably just go out to this location that I'm going to give him.
I confident with my information, but I appreciate the extra information. I really do.
Because the end result is, if this isn't something that you can put together in the next 18 hours, then we have to address the bond violations.
Understand.
And there's still an ability for treatment, even if I revoke your bond, but it's not gonna be at your choice.
I understand. I think I understand. What do you mean by my choice?
Like, if I were to revoke your bond,
Uh-huh.
they have the ability to treat you and provide treatment for you,
Mhm.
detox treatment, all of those things at least start them in the jail. But I don't think that would be your choice. So
No,
you lose
I-
the ability to have your choice.
I see what you're saying. Thank you, Your Honor.
So I think that's the best way to handle this. That sounds like it's workable, although slightly unorthodox.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I really appreciate it.
But I don't want you to leave until you get this
I just,
information,
I'll wait for it.
this information that I'm going to give you about where you can contact, and you can go out there right now.
Did you want me to hold the form and send it in? Just get him to sign it now and hold it, or did you want to take?
And Judge, I've just signed a form that I can hand to counsel, so that if a waiver form is accepted, should everything go to plan, then counsel can presumably send this
Yeah.
signed form in and nobody has to appear.
So I think, Mr. Mencken, since you're gonna somewhat be responsible for trying to facilitate any information about treatment for him to us, if you just have the form, if you go over it with your client, if this is what he intends to do and he signs it, then you can just submit that to us in the morning.
Okay. that's
And then
fine.
I wouldn't be expecting anyone's appearance as long as I have that signed form and something that will verify that he's somewhere going through the intake process.
Okay, and
All
I'll
right.
obviously try and have that no later than 10, so we can get here within an hour.
Just keep us in the loop,
I will.
okay?
Thank you.
All right, that's it for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Who do I see for that information? Your Honor?
I'm gonna write it down for
Oh.
you on a sticky note. We're gonna give it to you in just a
Oh,
minute.
okay, sure. Thank you so
So I'm
much.
just gonna go out on the phone and prepare this phone.
Sure.
I don't think that she's buying his BS. She is trying to help him, but at the same time, she's trying to maintain jurisdiction. Because, like she said, if she binds this over, she loses jurisdiction. She wants to help him, but she wants to be able to keep a handle on him as well. What she's doing for him is a huge, huge favor and a blessing that he hasn't even earned. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.